Before we set sailing, listen to this. A life spent making mistakes is not only more honorable, but more useful than a life spent doing nothing. Now the news in full. We are starting on a sad note. The Alaafin of Oyo, Oba Lamidi Adeyemi III, has passed on. He was 83 years old. The top Yoruba monarch died in the late hours of Friday. According to palace officials, Adeyemi died at the Afe Babalola University Teaching Hospital at Abeokuta. The late Alaafin's first son, Prince Tunde, and other children received the monarch's remains at Idi-Igba, Oyo town early Saturday. Oba Adeyemi ruled for 52 years before his demise, making him the longest reigning Alaafin. The late Alaafin of Oyo was from the Adeyemi branch of the Alowulodo family. He was born on October 15, 1938. He succeeded Alaafin Gbadegeshin Ladigbolu II in 1970 and was crowned on January 14, 1971. Meanwhile, the remains of Alaafin of Oyo, Oba Lamidi Adeyemi III, has been buried according to Islamic rites. The burial took place in Oyo town at the ancient town palace. The Alaafin of Oyo died on Friday night at the Afe Babalola University Teaching Hospital at Abeokuta at the age of 83. He is referred to as the first-class traditional ruler who protected the traditional institution and fought for prominent roles for traditional rulers in the country. The chief imam of Oyo land, Sheikh Abdulganio Ajokudero, described death as inevitable and admonished people to move closer to Allah.
He spent more than 50 years on the throne, and he died on the throne. He's not been evacuated. He did well. May Allah grant him Al-Jannah.
Adeyemi was reported to be the longest reigning Alaafin of Oyo, having ruled for 52 years. He was last seen at the inauguration of Olubadan of Ibadan land, Obalekon Balogun. After the announcement of the passage of the remains of the Alaafin Oyo, Oba Lamidi Adeyemi have been laid to rest. The passage of the monarch has been widely regarded as a closed chapter in the history of Oyo Kingdom and an era with unforgettable memories. Bumi Adegun in this report brings a glimpse of the burial rites for the monarch and a bit about the life and times of the man popularly called Iku Baba Yeye.
Just like yesterday, as Oba Lamidi Olayiwola Adeyemi was crowned after a 3-year rule on who becomes the king. It was a sunny Thursday, January 14, 1971, in Oyo State, by the military governor of Western State, Brigadier Robert Adeyinka Adebayo, replacing Oba Gbadegeshin Ladigbolu I. Fast forward to Saturday, 23rd, 2022. The drums stopped beating and people wearing mournful look as the third Alaafin of Oyo, an 83-year-old man who have spent 51 years on the throne, joined his ancestors. The passing of legendary Yoruba monarch, the Alaafin of Oyo, sent shockwaves through Nigeria, with many turning to social media to share their sadness over his death. Iku Baba Yeye, as he was fondly called, left the world without bidding anyone farewell, and Oyo town has been silent as people in their numbers gathered to discuss the death, while some took it as a rumor. Finally, the body of one of the most revered king arrived for burial. The end of an era, Alaafin of Oyo, is gone.
bọ́bá wẹ̀ mọ́ kójú ire àfi ìbòjó jí ire lọ́sàlẹ̀ bó bá wà fi ìbòjó kójú ire bí Adéyẹmí bá ti jí ire àbùṣebùṣe.
No Alaafin in modern times has celebrated 51 years on throne. The nearest was Alaafin Shiyanbola Onikepe, and the shortest reign was Alaafin Amodo, who reigned from 1833 to 1835. Alaafin Adeyemi III has been very fortunate. Oyo has witnessed tremendous development during his reign. He has seen the entrances and exits of 21 governors, and the incumbent Oluseyi Abiodun Makinde, the present governor of Oyo State, was 4 years old when Oba Lamidi Adeyemi ascended the throne. Bumi Adigun, OGTV News.
Still on the demise of Alaafin, Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde has described the death of the Alaafin of Oyo, His Imperial Majesty Oba Lamidi Adeyemi III, as a huge loss to the state, Nigeria, and the Yoruba race. Makinde, while describing Oba Adeyemi's death as a personal loss to him, said that he was an ever-supportive royal father and a worthy leader who spared nothing in trying to make Oyo State and Nigeria greater. The governor, in a statement by his chief press secretary, Taiwo Adisa, said Kabiesi's words of advice and guidance were always golden and helpful. Makinde expressed his condolences to the Oyo State Traditional Council, the Oyomesi, Oba Adeyemi's immediate family, the people of Oyo Kingdom, and the entire Yoruba race. The governor, however, prayed to God to grant repose to the soul of the departed traditional ruler. In the meantime, Governor Dapo Abiodun of Ogun State has mourned the passing of the Alaafin of Oyo, Oba Lamidi Adeyemi, who joined his ancestors on Friday. Alaafin reigned for 52 years on the throne of his forebearers. In a statement by Governor Abiodun's chief press secretary, Kunle Shomori, the governor described the monarch's death as tragic, which occurred when least expected. He commiserated with the Oyomesi, the wives and children of the late monarch, and the entire Adeyemi's family over this irreplaceable loss, and prayed for their comfort and peace at this trying time. Governor Abiodun, in the statement, further explained that the death of Oba Adeyemi has created a huge vacuum in the traditional and historical societies, saying that his death is also a great loss because Nigeria will miss the services of a great reservoir of knowledge and historical narrations. The governor noted that Alaafin's death will create a huge vacuum in the entire Yoruba land, while his sagacious and royal council will be sorely missed. Abiodun, who described the late monarch as a quintessential traditional ruler, custodian and exemplar of Yoruba culture and tradition, said that posterity and history will remember Oba Adeyemi's service and dedication to Yoruba land and immense contributions to ensure peace and unity in the country. Abiodun prayed God grants the departed monarch eternal rest and reward him with Al-Jannah Firdaus. Also, President Muhammadu Buhari has condoled with the government and people of Oyo State over the passing of Alaafin of Oyo, Lamidi Olayiwola Adeyemi III, whose reign covered major historic transitions in the country and witnessed transformations in his domain. A statement by Femi Adesina, Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, said the President affirmed that the Alaafin of Oyo's 52 years of rule was remarkable in many ways. Most significant was the emphasis he placed on human development, thereby encouraging learning as a culture and formal education as a necessity while promoting values of peace and stability. According to the statement, as a highly revered traditional ruler, President Buhari noted the late monarch's numerous participation in national meetings and conferences to shape the future of the country, and the living words of wisdom he shared at every opportunity on unity and people-focused governance. The president shared the grief with the Oyo State Traditional Council, Oba Lamidi's family, friends and associates, particularly in sports, where he left another footprint. He prayed that the Almighty God will receive his soul. In a related development, former President Olusegun Obasanjo has described the passage of the late Alaafin of Oyo, Oba Lamidi Adeyemi, as a dream. Obasanjo described the late monarch as a symbol of a nation's epic struggle for self-discovery and self-actualization. Obasanjo's letter of condolence to the Oyo State Governor, Seyi Makinde, was made available through a special assistant on media, Kehinde Akinyemi, to newsmen in Abeokuta. Obasanjo, who is presently in Ethiopia, condoled both the governor, the family of Oba Adeyemi, and the entire people of Oyo on the transition. He stated that the late highly revered monarch was a patriotic and highly respected traditional ruler who had immeasurable love for his people and great faith in a united Nigeria, declaring he stood out as a voice of forthrightness in national affairs, and he was as well a fervent promoter of mutual tolerance and understanding, not only among the diverse people of life in his domain, but also across the country. The chairman of the Southwest Governors Forum and Ondo State Governor, Rotimi Akeredolu, has described the passage of the Alaafin of Oyo, Oba Lamidi Adeyemi, as a big blow to the Oyo Kingdom, Yoruba race, and the country at large. Akeredolu, in a statement in Akure, said the news of the transition of the revered monarch was received with rude shock. Akeredolu described the transition of the highly revered monarch to the world beyond as a big blow to the Oyo Kingdom, Yoruba race, and the country at large. He pointed out that the efforts of the late Alaafin towards the unity and progress of the Yoruba people cannot be forgotten in a hurry. The governor expressed his condolences to Oba Adeyemi's immediate family, the Oyo State Traditional Council, the Oyo Mesi, the people of Oyo Kingdom, and the entire Yoruba race. May God continue to rest the soul of the Alaafin of Oyo. Now to other stories we have in the news. The federal government has attributed the delay in the issuance of international passports to the rare but sudden breakdown of the National Identity Management Commission NIMC server. Minister of Interior Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola stated this in Abuja at the third and fourth quarterly meeting review of the ministry. Aregbesola disclosed that the breakdown of the NIMC server makes validation of passport applicants' biodata impossible. He added that discrepancies in names of citizens on the passports and national identification number NIL also adds to the problem. The minister noted that soon applicants will be able to track their applications online, adding that the ministry and its sister agencies are not where they ought to be. On his part, Permanent Secretary in the ministry, Dr. Shuai Belgore, said the third and fourth quarter performance review of 2021 would provide the ministry the opportunity to assess and fix any noticeable loophole. 23rd of April every year is the World English Language Day. It is a day set aside to explore the history, development, and dynamism of English tongue. It also commemorates the birth and death anniversaries of one of the foremost writers of English language, William Shakespeare. Tiwalade Faiso, in this special report, examines the role of English language in achieving national integration, particularly for a nation like Nigeria with over 500 native languages. A report.
English Language Day is observed annually to celebrate multilingualism and cultural diversity by exploring the language. The English language is one of the 6 official languages of the United Nations due to its popularity, as it is a language widely used for international relations in the world today. English language happens to be the most popular spoken language in the world, with more than 983 million speakers around the globe. In Nigeria, English language is the official language and used in all spheres ranging from political, educational to administrative purposes. According to Dr. Mrs. Bosede Akinwumi, it is the language of the elite and a language of unification in Nigeria.
Majority of the elite have access to the teaching, learning, and use of the English language. It is the language that has unified us as a group with diverse cultures.
To Dr. Mrs. Bolaigi, a lecturer at the Department of English Language, Federal College of Education, Oshiele, Abeokuta, the use of English language has facilitated development in Nigeria and broken communication barriers.
Talk about developments in our country today that will not trace it back to the learning of English language. Language is likely to be the barrier. But with English language, we were able to bridge all this barrier. We were able to come together. English language is above Africa. English language is above Nigeria. English language is a world language. It's the language of science.
A writer said multilingualism should be encouraged as it is a capsule of exposing the multilinguals to other cultures and beliefs.
So multilingualism is a great grace if you have it. One of my work, so multilingualism is what we should encourage. In fact, there should even be an arm in secondaries and tertiary institutions where people should dedicate time into studying other languages.
Language experts said the pidgin version of English language should be adopted because of the elite nature of English language.
Not everybody can speak it the Queen's way, and that is where the problem comes. That is why, according to Professor Abeokuta, University of Ibadan, he said there are Englishes. So that is why we can have our own kind of English language. That is where the pidgin English comes in, where everybody, both the learned, the illiterate, uneducated, half-baked, everybody can speak a common language. The pidgin English is what I would recommend as a language expert to be the lingua franca, to be the official language of this country. With this Queen's English, it is just restricted to the few. So in terms of uniting us, integrating us, it integrates just very few, the learned, the elites, at the expense of the illiterate, the uneducated, people that are not exposed to the rudiments of English language.
English Language Day aims to entertain and inform people about the history, culture, and achievements associated with the language. Tuwalade Faisal, OGTV News.
All branches of Graceland schools in various parts of Lagos State are to reopen from Monday, April 25. Authorities in the state have announced. The Lagos State Ministry of Education made the announcement in a statement on Saturday, 5 days after it ordered the schools to close. The government had ordered the closure of all branches of Graceland schools amid a controversy over the alleged misconduct of some of its pupils while on a trip to Dubai, the United Arab Emirates. Barely a week after the closure, the Commissioner of Education in Lagos State, Mrs. Folashade Adefisayo, directed that the schools be reopened following a review of the ongoing administrative investigation into the incident. She explained that it was also necessary to reopen the schools to ensure that students were not denied access to learning when the new term begins on Monday. According to the Commissioner, the state government shut the schools for the safety of the students and the staff and to ensure an unhindered investigation of the incident. She stated that the ministry and other relevant agencies would partner with the school's parents, teachers association, PTA, to work on scheduled psychosocial support for the affected pupils. The federal government has implored to proactively confront the challenges of healthcare delivery in the country through constructive engagement and high-level advocacy to achieve top-quality services. This was a submission of a cross-section of Nigerians while expressing concern on the mass migration of skilled healthcare workers to other countries. Margaret Okunlola has the details.
According to a recent report by the Nigerian Medical Association, NMA, over 9,000 medical doctors of Nigerian origin left the shores of the country in search of greener pastures in the United Kingdom, United States of America, and Canada in 2 years. This emigration of medical experts, which the NMA said happened between 2016 and 2018, negatively impacted the nation's healthcare system, that only 4.7% of specialists were left to take care of Nigerians' health issues. The question is, what is the cause of this?
It's not because they don't want to stay, but you see, when you are gifted or when you've studied and you cannot use what you studied 5-6 years for in your country, and you find a better place to do that, you will go there, not necessarily because you don't like your country, but because you don't want to waste your life, in regrets. So most people leave because there are opportunities elsewhere, that can help them to live better lives.
Nigerians react on the negative ripple effect this has caused in the delivery of healthcare services in the country.
When all our intelligent hands, when all our good hands are leaving the country, now that we really need them, and they are going to Europe, to the Asian countries, to contribute to that quota that we need here, then there's a problem. What does the future hold for us?
Medical practitioners emphasize that most best brains in overseas country are of Nigerian origin, but due to one reason or the other, they left to render their services in other countries.
You are working in an environment where you are not satisfied with what you're doing. You don't have the right equipment. You are not being adequately remunerated. Even despite all this, you don't feel secured because of insecurity all around.
Most of our political leaders, most of them, they do not stay in Nigeria to get themselves being treated here. They prefer going outside of the country. Why? Because they do not believe in the health professionals they have, and two, they do not believe in what the equipment and so on that they have here in Nigeria.
Let us have the best equipment to work with. Let's make some centers of excellence in this place, in the some hospitals of excellence in this country, where you have everything, state-of-the-art hospitals, where you can do exactly what or similar things to what they do in other places.
Government has therefore been called upon to proactively confront the challenges of healthcare delivery in the country by using evidence-based constructive engagement, high-level advocacy, and understanding to achieve top-quality healthcare, so as to reduce the increasing rate of high morbidity and mortality. Margaret Okunlola, OGTV News.
The 7th Ramadan lecture of the Nigeria Union of Journalists in UJ, Ministry of Information Chapel, will come up on Monday, 25th April 2022. According to a statement, this year's lecture, which has as its theme, Islam and Youth Today, Guiding Our Future, Rules of the Parent, will have a renowned Islamic scholar, Sheikh Halaji Muhyiddin Ajani Bello, as chief guest lecturer. The program is scheduled to hold at the Ministry of Information and Strategy premises, Okimoson, Abeokuta, at noon, under the chairmanship of the Commissioner for Housing, Jagumolu Jameo Akonde Omoni. And to this third one, no fewer than 100 people died after an illegal refinery exploded at Abaeze Forest in the Ohaji Egbema local government area of Imo State. 6 vehicles were also razed during the incident, which had thrown the community into panic. Reports have it that at the scene of the incident on Saturday, a large number of people visited the place to have a glimpse of the unfortunate development. Journalists counted no fewer than 50 roasted bodies at the scene of the explosion. The State Commissioner for Petroleum Resources, Goodluck Opia, said at the scene that the state government had declared the owner of the illegal refinery, Okenze Oyewoke, wanted. He advised the suspect, whom he said was on the run, to turn himself in at the nearest police station. We take a break now. Join us for the foreign news recap, sports roundup, and Saturday special when we return. Don't go away.